the pursuit of zero carbon in retrofitting might be a mistake. Is that fair?
I think in every scenario, yes. I think it could be, you could be perceived to be making a rod for your own back by saying that every single retrofit needs to be zero carbon. I think let's not beat around the bush here. We have some very serious environmental challenges ahead of us, and we need to make our buildings as sustainable as possible. And particularly, we want to move away from that idea that we're going to be heating and powering our buildings by basically burning stuff, whether it be coal, gas, or whatever. We want to be generating that energy, and whether that's a little gas boiler in your cupboard under the stairs or in your kitchen, we want to be moving away from that. But saying that every single retrofit, or a retrofit, in particular, retrofit is a failure if it's not zero carbon, and it's not sustainable if it's not zero carbon, I think is a mistake. Like I said, sustainability is involving three pillars here. Environmental, the cultural and the economic. And we've got to be clear on this in the sense of the scale of what we need to be doing to our buildings. I think what we would probably want to be aiming for is a more rounded balance of those three pillars, and saying we want to make them as environmentally as possible, but accepting the economic and the limitations, whether that be capacity to build, supply and demand, or just simply what's your budget, which is probably the biggest element that we can all in the built environment have to deal with. The client, very rarely do you have a multi-millionaire client come in and say, well, do whatever you want, I don't care how much it costs. That's a very rare occurrence. But I also think we need to also understand the cultural and the social elements much more. Actually, the most sustainable thing we can do is to keep our buildings going, and actually making sure that those buildings are kept going by being relevant and making those changes. And if that means that the community centre, or the local church hall maybe doesn't get zero carbon but still maintains to be a hub in the community, that in itself is still sustainable.